Welcome back to a little different episode of No Bolts Left Behind. I've been doing this channel for about 4 years now, and every so often I get the question like what I do for a living, how I know how to do all this car stuff. How I know how to do all the car stuff, I don't know. I just do it. I research it. I'm obsessed. I spend like pretty much every waking moment like researching and working on things, and I'm one of those guys where when I get an idea in my head, I can't let it go. I can't sleep. I literally get woken up by ideas for like engine swaps and things like that. It's a little bit of a blessing and a curse, I think. But what I do for a living, or at least what I used to do for a living, was a web developer. So I work in tech. And I just got laid off from my tech job. I guess the tech industry is a little bit rough right now. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But I did take my first side job for an engine swap. So I guess you could say that as of this moment, I'm a professional mechanic. The car we're going to work on is a little bit of a change of pace for me, but a little bit something from my past. And all I can say is that the tech industry can kiss my ass. Rent my cars. The Mustang is still available for you to rent. All right, so enough of that. Let's go take a look at the car we're going to work on. All right, here we go. This is a 1996 Honda Civic Hatchback, automatic, 1.6 liter, the D series engine. So despite the badges, this is not a SI or a Type R or anything like that. I guess that would make this an EK hatch. So kind of a cool, like, these are kind of becoming classics, or have already become kind of classics. Definitely something from my childhood era. And actually, I was kind of a Honda guy back in the day. I don't know if you notice, I oftentimes wear a red Honda hat. I've owned a number of Hondas. I've owned 3 CRXs. I've owned a handful of Civics. That was from a past life. But in fact, I think I might have a picture of myself engine swapping I think it was like a 1988 CRX. Yeah, I love that car. Anyway, so I'm not totally in the dark about Honda Civic stuff, or I guess Honda stuff. I do know a little bit about them. And what we're gonna do is a B16 swap on this guy. And I'm also converting it to manual, of course. And I actually have the motor right there. I bought this guy. In fact, I think I have a few videos. It was kind of crazy. Collected a whole bunch of parts. We got ourselves a manual transmission. And yeah, let's get to it. All right, so what we got here is the D16, which is a 1.6 liter, but the not cool one, the lower revving single overhead cam engine, and of course the automatic transmission. And the B16 is also a 1.6 liter, but this has dual overhead cam, it has VTEC, that means that it's faster. It revs very high, and they're very like stout engines. I know they're like good for a lot of boost and a lot of building and all that stuff, whatever. So yeah, that's the main thing with this guy is to just pull this D16 out. We're gonna put that B16 in, and this thing should go faster. All right, got almost everything disconnected here. Radiator's out and all that stuff. However, I'm struggling with this crunchy wiring harness that's kind of going up underneath the intake manifold here. So I think I'm just gonna take off the intake manifold. I think that'll be easiest, and then I can really make sure that I get this wiring harness out safely, because I'm gonna be reusing it. So it'll be important to, to keep it nice and all that stuff. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard, just a bunch of 10 millimeter bolts, it looks like. My 10mm socket's probably going to get lost here any second because I'm using it to take off probably about 90% of the bolts here. So yeah, let's do it. All right, I got that thing out of there, and it's pretty much just this wire here, I think. I guess there's another like oil pressure sensor wire right there. So just a couple of wires, but I think it's easier just to pull that thing out of there. Yeah, I'll pull these last few out, and then I think that's it. That's all the fluids, all the wires. I'm gonna do my best to leave the air conditioner intact because I don't wanna have to unplug it and recharge it. And then we hook up the hoist. We pulled, or actually, you know what? No, then we lift up the front end. I almost forgot about the axles here. I'm used to rear wheel drive. Then we're gonna lift up the front end. We'll pull out these axles, and then we'll pull this guy out of here. All right, it's been a while since I've done this, but I think I'm gonna have to hit this guy with an impact. I'm gonna have to remove this lower ball joint bolt right there, separate that guy, and then kind of yank this off of here, and then pop that out of there. All right, it looks pretty good. Got both of these guys on engine mount bolts. Get this guy over there. All right, last bolt. Last and definitely not least. Okay, let's start lifting and see what happens. All right, looks like we're loose here. That looks good. This one, yeah, it's struggling. Looks like it's kind of sticking over there, but we're almost out over here. So let's pop this up. There we go. Yeah. It is sticking over here. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, this is connected down there. Okay. Okay. Oh, now we're kind of stuck everywhere. Let's go after those two bolts down there. It'll probably get a little crazy. It'll probably shift, but that's definitely the last two right there. Third, fourth, whatever this is, fifth time's a charm. Oh yeah, there we go. Easy. Ooh, starting to rub over here. Okay, there we go. I'm probably gonna want to tilt this just a little bit more. There we go. That should be able just to, oh, yep. Should be able to slide right out. Ooh, that was something. Oh, shoot. We got something down there. Got a little cable, probably for the speedometer. That's probably, maybe that's shift linkage. I'm sure that's what that is, shift linkage. Okay, I forgot to disconnect the shift linkage, but luckily we are swapping to a manual, so we do not need the shift linkage. Hopefully this doesn't squish me. There we go. Shift linkage is off. Okay. All right, engine is out, and if anybody wants a D16 from a 1996 Civic, let me know. And I think the last thing I'm going to do today is go ahead and pressure wash this thing because, actually, you know what, the engine bay isn't too bad. The engine is terribly, terribly dirty, but the engine bay isn't terrible, so we're going to go ahead and give this guy a little pressure wash, and then it'll be all ready for installation of the B16, probably tomorrow. That's the goal. All right.